broadcasting from Hanoi, capital of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Welcome to the Voice of Vietnam. I'm Nhật Quỳnh. In today's program, the news will be followed by current affairs, which discusses the U.S. new Middle East peace plan. Society takes a look at the move towards smart medicine in Ho Chi Minh City, and our business segment considers the role of Vietnamese businesses in today's digital transformation. But first, here comes the news.
In the news headlines, 2 more coronavirus patients are discharged from hospital in Vietnam. Forbes Vietnam announces its 30 under 30 list, and Iran says it's ready to cooperate with the EU to resolve nuclear deal issues. And now for the news in detail. Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc highlighted the need to maintain cooperation mechanisms during separate receptions in Hanoi on Monday for the Malaysian and Armenian ambassadors. Receiving Malaysian diplomat Dato Sharifah Mustafa, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc proposed the early signing of an action plan to realize the bilateral strategic partnership for the 2020 and 2025 period and asked Malaysia to reduce trade barriers on Vietnamese goods, especially farm produce and halal food for Muslims. He also asked for increased two-way trade. Mustafa pledged to hold a 6th meeting of the Vietnam-Malaysia Joint Committee this year. During a reception for Armenian Ambassador Varam Kastoyan, Prime Minister Phúc urged both sides to use the free trade agreements between Vietnam and the Eurasian Economic Union to increase bilateral trade and investment. Mr. Phúc proposed holding a 2nd meeting of the Vietnam-Armenia Inter-Government Committee soon. As ASEAN Chair 2020, Vietnam is ready to serve as a bridge between ASEAN and Armenia, he said. 2 more patients who caught the novel coronavirus and were treated in Vietnam have been confirmed free from the deadly virus. A 25-year-old hotel receptionist in Nha Trang City was discharged from the Hospital of Tropical Diseases in the central province of Khánh Hòa on Tuesday afternoon after 3 of the latest tests found her negative for the virus. The same day, one of the 2 Chinese nationals who became the first cases of infection in Vietnam was released from the Chợ Rẫy Hospital in Ho Chi Minh City. The 28-year-old had tested negative for the virus 4 times after 13 days of treatment, but he wants to stay at the hospital to take care of his father, who was also infected and is still under treatment. Hanoi authorities are closely monitoring passengers entering the capital through Nội Bài Airport. Hanoi Mayor Nguyễn Đức Trung said,
We are intensifying communications to raise public awareness of the danger of the outbreak and preventive measures. A hotline has been established.
Hanoi has arranged 5 hospitals for isolating and treating coronavirus cases. The military is ready to receive and monitor 950 people returning from the epidemic-affected areas, Colonel Nguyễn Việt Thắng said.
We have selected a location for receiving and isolating people coming back from the affected areas. Everything is on set.
Ho Chi Minh City will deliver 5 million leaflets and booklets on the coronavirus outbreak, while the central city of Da Nang has encouraged people to use online public services in an attempt to prevent the spread of the virus. The toll in China rose to 425 as of the end of Monday, up by a record 64 from the previous day, the National Health Commission said on Tuesday. All of the new deaths were in central Hubei province, the epicenter of the virus outbreak. China said it would welcome assistance from the United States to fight the outbreak. The White House said China had accepted its offer to have U.S. experts join a WHO mission to study and help combat the virus, which emerged from the market in Hubei's provincial capital of Wuhan late last year. A WHO spokesperson said on Monday that the WHO-led international team of experts could go to China as early as this week to investigate the outbreak. WHO Director General called on all countries to prepare to cope with the spreading of epidemics and prevent chaos in disease prevention. The WHO called on countries to share data, information, and experience in coping with the epidemics. Hong Kong on Tuesday announced its first death from the new coronavirus. Vietnam has added 11 more cultural icons to the list of National Intangible Cultural Heritage, according to the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism. They include the Go Tao Festival of the Hmong ethnic people in Lai Châu Province, the Cấp Sắc or majority ritual of the Dao ethnic people in Điện Biên and Phu Thọ provinces, the Cha On Temple Festival in Vĩnh Long Province, and the Moon Tiêu or First Full Moon Festival of the Hoa ethnic people in Ho Chi Minh City. Besides, drum making of the Dao ethnic people in Lao Cai province and the art of tartan making on costumes of Hmong Hoa ethnic people in Sơn La province are named National Intangible Cultural Heritages. These recognized intangible cultural heritages belong to 4 categories of traditional handicrafts: traditional festivals, social practices and beliefs, and folklore knowledge. Forbes Vietnam magazine on Monday announced the 30 Under 30 list, which featured some of the most influential faces in the field of business and startups, social enterprises, arts and creative industries, entertainment, education, and science. This was the first time Forbes Vietnam announced the list to honor young people who made significant contributions to the field. Some young entrepreneurs who gained success in the list were Law-Given founder Phạm Khánh Linh, MindX Education CEO Nguyễn Thị Thu Hà, and Rand's original co-founder Trần Bảo Khánh. The list also features popular soccer stars Nguyễn Quang Hải, Trương Thị Kiều, and Huỳnh Như, who contributed to the success of Vietnam's national football teams in regional competitions last year, especially the SEA Games. Forbes will host the Under 30 Summit 2020 on April the 9th, which will focus on breakthrough advancements in science and technology, startup projects, and career and sustainable development. The list, derived using the methodology utilized by American business magazine Forbes, was judged by a panel including experts and reputable businessmen in the field.
You're listening to The Voice of Vietnam, and now some more news. Iran is ready to cooperate with the European Union on issues related to the nuclear deal it agreed upon with world powers in 2015. President Hassan Rouhani was quoted as saying on Monday by the ISNA news service. He made his comments at a meeting with Joseph Borrell, the head of the EU's foreign service, who traveled to Iran in an attempt to reduce tensions in the Middle East after the U.S. killing of Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani last month. Under the deal, Tehran agreed to curb its nuclear activities in exchange for the lifting of most international sanctions, but the U.S. withdrew from the deal in 2018 and reimposed sanctions on Iran. Rouhani said Iran is still ready for interaction and cooperation with the EU for resolving issues, and whenever the opposite side completely upholds their commitments, Iran will return to its commitments. In late January, President Rouhani said Iran has never pursued the development of nuclear weapons, even with or without a nuclear deal, and called on European countries not to violate the deal like the U.S. The post-Brexit reality is a big loss for the European Union and are confounded with the overall situation. According to French newspapers Le Monde and Les Echos, a post-Brexit EU has witnessed a decrease of 66 million inhabitants and 15% of GDP. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said the UK will become an economic competitor on the EU's own doorstep after Brexit. The only EU country with a permanent seat and a veto right in the UN Security Council is France. The French media said Brexit may strengthen the Eurozone. Italy's former Prime Minister Enrico Letta said post-Brexit Eurozone will represent 85% of the EU's GDP or higher, as Croatia and Bulgaria are seeking to join the Eurozone. The WHO on Tuesday warned cancer cases would rise by 81% in low and middle-income countries by 2040 due to a lack of investment in prevention and care. They said in a report that these countries had focused their limited resources on combating infectious diseases and improving maternal and child health instead of fighting cancer. It said they consequently had the highest cancer mortality rate. The report, timed to coincide with World Cancer Day, said an investment of $25 billion over the next decade could save 7 million lives from cancer. It also found that overall, cancer cases in the world would rise by 60% by 2040, adding that tobacco use was responsible for 25% of cancer deaths.
Another main points once again. 2 more coronavirus patients are discharged from hospital in Vietnam. Forbes Vietnam announces is 30 under 30 left, and Iran says it's ready to cooperate with the EU to resolve nuclear deal issues. And that's the news from the Voice of Vietnam.